Hey guys, what's up? Vero here. So I wanted to make a video, kind of a positive World of Warcraft video. Now, I've met several people through World of Warcraft over the years. Some have been friends, some have been people that I dated, some are people that I don't talk to anymore, which, you know, it's fine. But I've mentioned before that I met my best friend through World of Warcraft, and her and I have definitely been through some fun times, we'll call it that. But her and I, you know, have a very strong friendship, and I never would have met her if it wasn't for WoW and if it wasn't for Blizzard creating such an amazing game. But I specifically wanted to make a video about how I met my boyfriend, because I don't think I've ever told you guys this. So several years ago, I was very heavily involved in the healing community in World of Warcraft. This was probably around Mist of Pandaria. Mist of Pandaria had been out for a little bit. And that's kind of when I kind of really got into posting on the healing forums. I ended up making a healer chat room where other healers and myself could just sit there and chill and chat about whatever. We also would sometimes often talk on Mumble. Eventually I ended up buying my own Mumble server specifically for healers. And my boyfriend, currently, he, I guess, came back to World of Warcraft to check out Mist of Pandaria. I guess he quit in Kata, and a lot of people were saying like, hey, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And I remember quoting him and saying, I'm not familiar with you, or I don't know you, but, welcome back anyway, or something. And someone told him about the chat room, and at the time I thought he was a girl. I try not to assume people's characters based off the sex of their character, so if I don't actually know, I usually use, like, they or them or whatever to kind of describe the person, because I don't want to offend anybody by calling them a girl and them be a boy, or vice versa, because sometimes people get upset about that, and that's totally fine. So he did play a female holy paladin, so I just kind of assumed maybe it was a girl. I wasn't really sure, I don't know. But he ended up joining the chat room, and then eventually all of us got on Mumble or something, and we ended up all talking together. So at that point I kind of knew he was a boy, and I thought he had a cute voice. That was about the extent of it, because I think I had a boyfriend at the time, but maybe we were breaking up. I don't remember. We might have already been broken up. Who knows? It doesn't matter. But at some point we all ended up adding each other on Battle.net. This was before BattleTag came out, so I knew his name because of that, and obviously he knew my name because of that. And that was pretty much the extent of us chatting with each other. Like, that was it. Several months later, I think it was in November, maybe, of that same year, I was healing on my druid in LFR, and the reason I was healing my druid in LFR because I was just kind of just gearing her up for fun. I was still mainly raiding on my disc priest, so that's why my poor little druid got sent to the back of the I don't know, playing queue. I don't know what to call it, but I was doing LFR on my druid, and we were doing, oh crap, whatever the one is before Throne of Thunder, with the dragon that you have to heal and damage. I don't remember, but we were doing that fight. And we wiped, and I think I did like 80% of the healing. It was some obscene number, and I posted something in like your Battle.net message saying like, oh, I guess I didn't completely forget how to play a druid. And he messaged me saying something, I don't know, we talked for whatever. And then he was like, oh, well, I can join you if you want an extra healer. And I was like, you're Horde, I'm Alliance, sorry. And we just kind of kept talking, just through Battle.net for the next couple of days. Eventually, I plucked up the courage and I said something like, well, if you want to text me, here's my number. Gave him my number, and he didn't text me. So I was like, alright, guess he's not interested. That's cool. We can be friends. That's alright. And then I think either the next day or the day after, he asked if I wanted to get on TeamSpeak, because his brother has a TeamSpeak server, and he's like, do you want to come in here and we can just chat through voice? And I was like, I suppose. And I said something about like, I gave you my number and you never texted me, so he texted me. Way to get called out, dude. And we just kind of talked for a while. We had a nice conversation. For a while, we would just kind of text and phone calls and whatever. One of us expressed interest in the other one. I told him I don't date people on the internet until I meet them, because that's just how I am. I don't know. Like, I want to make sure I have a connection with somebody, and I actually want to meet them and make sure they're not an axe murderer before I, call them my boyfriend, I guess. And we kind of talked about meeting in person. At this point it was like, I don't know, end of December or something, I don't even know. But I told him my birthday was coming up in January, so we were only talking for like 2 months before we were like, hey, you want to hang out in real life? Okay. obviously it worked out, so. And I was like, well, my birthday's coming up in January. I really just want to kind of get out of town. Maybe we could like meet somewhere and just hang out and, you know, see where this goes. And he was like, sure. So he lived in Ohio and I lived in Florida. Driving wise, if you don't stop anywhere, like you just hold your pee in and you drive the whole way and you don't stop for snacks, it's about a 15-hour drive. So we decided to meet in North Carolina because it was kind of halfway. I think that was like a 6-hour drive for me, and that was probably like an 8 or 9-hour drive for him. We met in North Carolina, we hung out for a couple days, and it went well. We got along in person. I made him watch Buffy, and he didn't run away from me making him watch Buffy. We just hung out and chatted and chilled and ate food, and it was nice. You know, we were like, you know, I think this could work. So then we made it official on January 18th, which is the day after my birthday. So that kind of sucks because our anniversary was like right after my birthday. But whatever. I guess it doesn't really matter. So then later on that year we were talking about maybe meeting again, and my family, my mother sometimes goes to Tennessee to visit family. And she usually drives with my aunt, and she was asking if I wanted to go. Sometimes they also, I don't actually know. Yeah, I guess that at that point they were still driving. And it's about a 10-hour drive from Florida to Tennessee if you don't stop. About 12 if you stop. And I thought, well, I could make that drive by myself. Like, I'd be totally fine. Never doing that again. And then that way I could go to Tennessee and visit my family and visit my grandmother and hang out with everybody. And then I could fly on, and then I could drive on to Ohio, which is about 5 hours away. So not bad at all from Tennessee. And then spend time with Riot and then hang out with him for like a couple weeks. And at first my family was kind of like, what if he's an ex-murderer? I've already met him, he's not an ex-murderer. I think he would have already murdered me. And, you know, my mom was like, sure, if you want to do that, whatever. And did that. So I ended up hanging out in Ohio with him for a couple weeks. We ended up doing this thing where I left, and then he's like, if you want to come back for like another day or two, like you totally can. Which is the downside of driving because it was hard to leave. So we hung out that summer for a couple weeks, and then we kind of just kept discussing the possibility of maybe living together, maybe moving closer together, whatever. January of the following year rolls around, so at this point we're together for about a year, and he wanted me to fly up and visit him. And I did. I think he paid for my ticket, I don't remember. It was like end of January, beginning of February, I think. Or maybe it was near the end of February. I don't know, I think it was past Valentine's Day. They still had snow in Ohio, I know that much. So I got to visit for a little bit, hang out with his family again, and whatever, and it was great. And it was nice. We were only seeing each other like every 6 months, which kind of sucked. But I mean, we still had World of Warcraft to play together. He ended up actually making several alliance characters. Can't even see my shirt as I do that on my Storm Rage server, because at this point, he actually is the one that encouraged me to find a raiding guild that I really wanted to raid with. I ended up finding one Horde side, and he actually ended up paying for my transfer and my faction change, and was like, you know, if you find a guild that you really want to play, like, I'll pay for it. It's fine. So props to him. But he ended up moving Alliance side to play with me, also because he was on a dead Horde server called Shatterhand. So, yeah. So at this point over the summer, him and I were discussing the possibility of moving together. He said that he was moving to a new place. He wanted to get something that maybe we could maybe cohabitate together if I wanted to. I mean, we only spent maybe like 4 or 5 weeks worth together, nonstop. You know, at his house, but I don't know, it's kind of just like, yeah, I think I would like to do that, see what happens, you know, YOLO or whatever the kids are saying these days. And so I end up talking to my mother about it, and of course, being like any mother, because I'm her baby, I'm the youngest, she didn't want me to move, but she, you know, encouraged me to do what I wanted, and she said, you know, that she would like to meet him before I moved up there. And so October 1st, or no, November 1st, he flew down to Florida, one-way ticket, to meet my mother and my sister and like my nephews and my brother-in-law and stuff, and kind of just help me pack. And we packed up my car, I think like November 2nd or November 3rd, put everything in my car, and made the drive to Ohio, which is a really long drive and something I never really want to do again. I mean, I guess I have to because I don't want to live here forever, but whatever. It was hard to leave my family. Like, I'm not a very emotional person, but my mom started crying, which made me cry. Apparently my sister cried. Like, everybody was crying. I mean, that's the furthest I've ever lived away from home. In college, I lived like 3 hours away. That was the furthest I've ever gone. So at some point I do want to go back to Florida, hopefully by next year, because I don't want to live here anymore. No offense, Ohio. I love the snow, but you've ruined my car, and I don't want to live here anymore. But yeah, so we ended up moving in together in November, and we're still in that same apartment, although we're looking into moving into a bigger place next year. And things have been good. We've been together, I think, almost 4 years now, which is just crazy. We still get along pretty well. He still plays World of Warcraft a lot more than I did. We obviously both will be playing Legion, but if it wasn't for World of Warcraft, I never would have met him. I never would have met my best friend. There's so many people in this world that I would have never become friends with, that I'm still friends with today, which is just crazy how just a video game can change your life that much. But, you know, thank you, Blizzard, for creating World of Warcraft, because if it wasn't for you, I don't know where I would be right now, you know? I mean, it definitely inspired me to make my channel, and inspired me to just kind of follow my dreams. Like, I currently work in the gaming industry. Like, it's inspired so much of my life. Even though I'm not super excited for Legion, I think World of Warcraft always hold like a special place in my heart. But yeah, if it wasn't for a while, I wouldn't have met him, and I think that's kind of cool, and, you know, yay! So that is the story on how I met Riot. You will never probably see him in my videos. You will maybe hear him in the background. Like, sometimes if I'm streaming, you'll hear him in the background, because he's not really into the whole being on video thing, which is fine. Some people don't like that, some people do. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of let you guys know how I met him, you know, and kind of give a big, like, a little shout out to Blizzard, thanking them for making such an awesome game, because, again, I would have never met my best friend, and I would have never met my boyfriend, so yay. But yeah, thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know how World of Warcraft has changed your life, or any video game in general. It doesn't have to be World of Warcraft, even if it's something as simplistic, you know, maybe not like you met your significant other, but I know so many people that met the person that they're married to, that they've been married to for like ages through WoW, and I just think that's so cool that just a game can do that. Like, that's just, I just love that. I just think it's cool. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will catch you guys later. Bye. Woo! Thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. A fin up, I guess, if you enjoyed it. And be sure to subscribe to my channel, because I put out new videos every week. Don't forget to also check out my social media at the bottom, because you can follow me there too. I stream weekly on twitch.tv/Veroicone, and you can catch me there too, in case you want to see more of me, and see more of me in a shark costume. Because, why not? I don't know. But thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Shark out!